And welcome back to Friday Night Fights, the 31st best show in all of Rebbl. We are climbing our way up the charts. We were at number 56. It was a huge leap this week in the ratings. We're covering Season 11, Division 4D of Rebbl. For you people, for the 6 people that listen to the show or watch it, I am Wolf from Ajax. This is Charles.
Hello.
And with us is Juvasek.
Hello.
Hey, good to see you guys back again.
Our new data analyst.
Yeah, new data analyst, exactly. Crunching numbers. What we're going to do... Oh, go ahead, Charles.
This show is getting more and more professional. We just need a graphic designer and then we're good.
We need a graphic designer, a new host, better set, more pay. So there's a
better
whole lot
analyst.
Yeah, better analyst, better
a
host.
Marketing team.
Yeah, we need a lot of things. But we'll get there. We'll get to number 21 eventually.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't have that juicy graphics that they have on the big shows. Let's go ahead. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come right back and we'll take a look at our scorecards. Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is the scorecard segment where we take a look at the week's results, see how you guys did, what's going on, who's moving, who's shaking. Charles picked our main event from last week, so let's go ahead and jump into what game was that, Charles? That was our main event pick.
Bring out your Undead versus Beer Brawl Club.
Okay, let's take a look
new
here.
New result.
Yep, looks like a real barn burner here at 0-0 with the the Tomb Guardians. Getting MVP here, and a runner getting the MVP there.
Yeah, I was able to catch this one.
Okay.
It was actually more eventful than the new would show.
You know, there was over 100 blocks thrown in this game. That's amazing. For only 2 or 3 injuries. Oof.
So what happened there is the dwarves set up for their offense starting out the game, and then they suffer a perfect defense, and they get those Tomb Guardians in their face. They get, of course, worried about it. Then they use their fireball on offense to get away from those bases. But they get too eager to move forward, and they let the ball get close to the line of scrimmage, and then a Tomb Guardian bases the ball next turn, and the dwarves cannot move away from all the strength. They get sacked a turn later. The dwarves recover but end up stuck. The ball is sacked again and stays on the ground, so that's the dwarf offense was screwed up by that. I don't think it was necessary to move forward that fast because to respect the Tomb Guardians. And then on the second half, the Camry, they have another big brawl in midfield, which is expected, but the Camry offense try to move through the sideline. They avoid a sack, they blitz with the ball carrier to move forward, they get pretty close to the end zone, but they get sacked, the ball is served, and stays on the ground forever, and that's the game. That's 2 low-edge teams, 2 slow teams playing each other, and if you get sacked, you're probably not going to score, huh?
Probably not. Fireball hitting 4 people.
If I remember correct, someone was in favor of bring out your undead.
Yeah, that must have been Charles, right?
Both of us.
No! And I called it a 0-0 draw. I don't know how I picked that one right.
You must be then pretty unhappy about the Tomb Guardian that got injured as an MNG with a double skull.
Oh, he double skulled himself? That's a shame. I'm glad when any Tomb Guardian dies, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, that was one of the problems with the Camry offense. They had a 2-player disadvantage, and as a bash team, you're not always used to having a disadvantage, so that made their offense a bit more rushed, let's say, and that's fine.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, and even that the score ended 0-0, both teams had half that they could score, I think.
Alright, let's take a look at our next game. Looks like the Ska Poppin' Skavens and Grumble Grok Gorgers. Another 0-0 draw.
I wasn't able to catch this one. I saw that the Skaven were able to joined the division pretty late, so pretty happy about that. Instead of having 2 bye weeks for the season, we have just 1. Thank you for joining us, Infant Melt.
Yeah, interesting.
And playing the game in time.
Interesting on the statistics here that the Skaven had 0% ball possession. They had a few blocks, but I don't know how they had 0% ball possession.
Actually, I watched the match.
Okay.
I watched the game also. It was pretty heavily in favor of the Ogres, and it was pretty unfortunate that they couldn't score neither the half. There was also a death in the game.
I think.
And yeah.
I think the problem here for the Skaven was they had 6 failed pickups and only 1 success. So that probably explains why they had 0% ball possession.
Yeah, if you can't pick up the ball, it's gonna be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And I think after the first turn they get a little bit, maybe the coach got a little bit upset because he was basing the Ogres, and that never leads to a good result.
That's not a strategy you want to do long term, especially that gave them the 7 injuries inflicted, 3 KOs and 1 kill.
Plus the block in the Ogres helped them very much. 1 Ogre had 3 injuries inflicted.
Nice. Alright, let's take a look at Dazed and Confused, 1-1 tie with Blutvarian Silurian. That is a mouthful. 1-1 draw. Rodder gets MVP and Skink gets the MVP. Let's take a quick look at the statistics here. Looks like the Lizardmen had a little better ball possession, a little more blocks thrown, but generally they're a little stronger, so they've got more chances at 2 dice. 1 casualty sustained by Dazed and Confused. Really nothing except KOs on the Lizardmen. Now, I didn't get a chance to catch this game, but looking at some statistics, I don't see anything that really stands out. Nothing like major, like in the last game.
Actually,
50% dodge rate for the Lizardmen, so that wasn't great.
Yeah, actually in this game, I think Dazed and Confused could have scored in the last 2 turns, but they failed 2 times at the pickup from a pass.
Oh, yep.
And that's why they didn't win.
5 failed pickups, 3 success. So
yeah,
that's a shame.
And the Lizards was mostly focused on hitting. Because at the first turn, I think they injured their Rodder on the first hit.
Well, yeah, if you're going to base up against Lizardmen, they're just going to punch you back down.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Now, here's an interesting one. 2-1 win for Mass Bolts over Drakdar squad. So,
yeah,
the High Elves getting it done against the Orcs.
I loved watching that game because of how silly it was. So, if I can go over it.
Yeah, go over it.
So the Orcs start up by setting on the line of scrimmage on defense with a bully front line. That was not the best idea. They allowed several free blocks and they allowed a turn 1 surf. So that's never good, right? But the Elves, they have that advantage. They put the slower players on the ground and they decide to, you know what, let's just score. It ends up working out, but they were both the pass and the handoff were in traffic, so that wasn't the most reliable way to score, but they got it done. Then the Orcs have time to score. They have 5 turns to score, but the kickoff event puts 5 of them stunned on the ground.
Ouch.
So of course they're gonna have trouble moving the ball. And then the Elves, they kind of get cocky. They overcommit to one side. And then the Orcs, they make a interesting pass. I think they could have handed off first and then move afterwards. But they moved the player first and they passed to him afterwards. So that makes it a more difficult roll.
Yeah.
Right? It works, but it ends up as a potato goblin with that strength 2, so the Goblin gets sacked and the Elves open 2-0 on the first half, just like that. So the offense from the Orcs was not good, even though the stun did make it harder on them. I think the pressure got to him.
Yeah.
And then the second half, the Orcs failed the pickup, and they didn't actually plan around what would happen if they failed. So the Elves get the ball again deep into enemy territory. It looks like they're gonna open up 3-0, but they get sacked. They can't protect that ball very well, and that's understandable because it was pretty far. And then the two teams keep trading sacks for a while until the Elves scatter the ball off the pitch when they fail to pick it up. And then the Orcs, of course, they fail to pick it up again. The Elves recover. They try to pass to score, but they do a pass overhead, and that's an interception. And then looks like, okay, the Orcs are for sure gonna score. They march downfield, and of course they try a handoff. They fail that again. The ball gets to the ground. The Elves recover, and then on the last turn, the Orcs get a second score. So it was very emotional game for me.
Yeah.
Lots of weird, silly stuff happening.
2 interceptions. That's kind of interesting. Huh. And a Hail Mary pass. So those Orcs are throwing the ball. I like to see that. It's just wacky.
Actually, the key point, I think it was where turn 5, the thrower made a Hail Mary pass to a Goblin that it wasn't so necessary. He had 3 turns more. And Goblin, of course, makes Goblin stuff, don't catch the ball. And the Elves got it, and that was the start of the 2-0.
Yeah.
All right. Looked like a fun one.
But I want to tell you about the MVP of the match of the thrower. He really deserved it. He made everything he could. His team could win, but he didn't. He intercepted the ball. He threw 2 Hail Mary passes accurately. He did everything he could, but it wasn't enough.
It's the team's fault, not his fault, right? He did his part.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at our next game, which is a 1-1
Bye-week.
tie. Well, the admin still hasn't played against the Sterling Hornets. I think the admin team could take this one. I think I called that one correctly.
Right.
Yeah, it's not been recorded yet. Commanders in Grief 1-1 against the Vogue Bombers.
Yeah, your guys' favorites for the playoffs faced each other.
Yep.
I was able to catch that one because it was a very interesting one in terms of how well rated the teams were.
Yeah, the Commanders in Grief had a 50% ball possession for that game. That's amazing.
The Orcs, they used 2 Rebbls to pick up the ball, but they eventually got into a cage. They marched that cage beautifully downfield. I actually will be looking at Onenia's offense because I felt it was clean, just good BloodBowl being shown there. And the humans, I felt they made it a bit easier because they tried to create pressure on the backfield and they gave away too much space. Then on the second half, the humans show up in a more loose screen type of offense, which I thought is also a good idea because you're playing versus a much slower opponent, so you're making the pitch wide for them. I like that. When it was also patient, so when it got time to move forward, they finally got into a cage and it was proper movement. And then something weird happens. I think it's a debatable play that the Orcs had a wizard and they decide to lightning bolt, but not the ball carrier. They lightning bolt a cage corner because they wanted to get a serve and base the ball instead of trying to sack the ball. That was kind of weird for me. And then the humans, they throw a lot of dice, but they still score. So the Orc team, they got the serve, they based the ball carrier, but the wizard ended up not stopping the human offense, so that's the 1-1. And then the Orcs got a riot, making it a bit more likely that they would be able to score, but they couldn't move fast enough because they looked to move safely in the same style as first half. Then they needed a pass and the pass failed, so 1-1 right there.
All right.
I thought you guys were made good picks there because this was one of the most solid matches I watched this week.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the last game. This was a high-scoring game. 2-3 for Sweet Teeth Forever over the Rebbl Cheese Thieves, who we're going to have coming up on the show here in a minute. Let's see. Some statistics. Only 6% ball possession by the Cheese Thieves, but of course if they have that one turner, they don't need a lot of ball possession. Sweet Teeth Forever just destroying in ball possession here.
This was the best upset win.
This was the
of the week.
Win. Yeah.
Yeah, we both picked Skaven, and the Necro team got the upset. I'm gonna be taking a look at them whenever I can because I think it was a good win for them.
And let's take a look at some dice rolls here.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Nice catches, pickups. Everything looks okay for the Cheese Thieves. I assume what it was just a Sweet Teeth Forever getting those 2 kills early, I bet. I didn't get to see the game, but getting early kills probably put you down players. And then with having a regen on your team, you don't have to worry as much as the other team.
Did you were you able to catch it, Jovsek?
Yeah, I watched it. Actually, the game was like most of the Skaven games, if you don't kill the one turner. The Necro got possession of the ball in the first half and scored quite easily in turn 8, but of course Gaterane did his stuff and equalized before the end of the half in one turn. Same story starting the second turn, scored in one turn and to one up the Rats. They keep going. Yeah, we had the fast equalizer. Of course injuries will happen, but the Gaterane is 10 movement. I think at the key point in 12th turn he had 6 players on the field or 5, the Skaven team. At which point the pitch invasion came and stunned the one turner, the Paneer, and he couldn't score in one turn. Of course the Necro team closed up, and I think it was a little bit of wrong positioning the ball carrier, because he did grab the ball and went too close to the midfield. So the other team got a chance to blitz at him and take the ball, and that resulted in the 3-2 loss.
Alright, good game. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and we'll look at Juvasek's segment on some statistics. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. Now up is Juvasek's CompuBox, where he takes a look at some statistics, gives us an idea of some interesting players, and he gives us our pick for who he thinks was the most impactful player of the week. Juvasek, what do you have?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to make a reference and say that when I'm counting, for example, injuries, I'm not counting only injuries that reward SPP, but I'm counting injuries that happen in the game, either from a failed dodge, from a kick, from a player with skill or not, doesn't matter.
Or just a foul.
Or if even a serve happened and it got injured, that it will not count in the SPP.
All right, so who do you got up first?
First, we will start with the most injuries inflicted, and it's an ogre, the black blood tippler from the Grumbler Gorgers that injured 3 players in the last month.
What was the name of that player?
Black blood tippler.
Okay, let's take a look at him. Yep, we've got him up. He's really coming along. He's got block and break tackle already. He's a menace.
Yeah, but he's a pretty terrifying player, and he was quite easy to injure. I don't know why other players.
Yeah, and it looks like he's 3 injuries inflicted. Yeesh. All right.
Yeah.
So be aware of him when you guys are playing against that ogre.
And injuries is not always everything. We have a list with the most KOs inflicted. And there is the rat dog from Scapops Cavens. That is Nicodemus, the name.
From which team?
That from Scapops Cavens.
Yeah, I saw that he has a rat ogre. That's a way to try to mitigate the injuries on the team. Maybe that's what our contender of the week should do.
Yeah, and he was quite fond in blitzing with him. He KO'd three players, of course, and that justified.
And he had 3 injuries and 3 KOs on 9 blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
The next one I'm gonna say is it's a short list for now because it's the most deaths inflicted, and we had 2 deaths already in the division. The one is from the same ogre, that Black Blood Tippler. He killed a player. That's one of the injuries, and the other is from the Sweet Teeth Forever race, the Necromantic. It's their werewolf mage that also killed a player.
Okay, so that was from which team? Sweet Teeth Forever?
Sweet Teeth Forever, yeah.
And their werewolf mage?
Mage.
Okay. Let's take a look at his statistics. He's already got block, and he had 5 blocks succeeded, 2 casualties inflicted. Yeesh. Okay, and Jivsek, who did you have for touchdowns that were impactful this week?
It's the gutter runner from Rebbl Cheese Thieves, Panir, that he's the only player leading now this category with 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns by himself?
Yeah, and both one-turners.
Alright, and who was the most impactful player in the division last week?
It was from the Sweet Teeth, from the Necromantic team, their werewolf mage, with 2 injuries inflicted. One of them was a death, and 1 touchdown score.
Alright, awesome. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come right back and we'll take a look at our pound for pound series where we take a look at our leaderboard. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights, Season 11, Division 4D. Right now is the time for our Contender Series, where we take an in-depth look at one of the coaches in the division. Up this week, we have from the Rebbl Cheese Thieves, Coach Jericho Peppers. Welcome to the show.
Hello there.
Hey, good to have you. You're a Skaven coach, and we're going to take a quick look at your team now. Did you see the first episode of the show?
I did, actually.
Okay, so you know how I feel about your uniforms. Let's not even talk about that disaster. Wow, look at your team. There's only like 5 players left. What happened here?
My last game, both my Stormvermin died. One was straight up dead. The other one had minus AV. And I already came in with, I think, 1 or 2 pieces down. So I was on 10 pieces.
That's brutal.
But you were on 0 gold?
You keep your one-turner, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I did that. Well, I had to keep my Apo, and I didn't Apo any of the Stormvermin just for him, because he was the last piece on the, last valuable piece on the pitch.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright, let's take a look at your team. Now, obviously, your team has changed quite a bit from last week. And
yeah, basically.
Number 3, Panir, is your go-to guy. What's your future plans with him?
Well, I do want to give him. I was thinking of giving him Leap, because generally people will be setting up, in the backline against one of these two, against a natural one-turner.
Yeah.
So being able to just leap over the line of pieces
that would be
seems
funny.
more reasonable than.
Yeah.
How about some catch, maybe? Because he's always gonna be catching the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that possibly catch would be the next one. Then maybe leap. Depends entirely on how I see like myself developing and if I can actually get to the needed amount of SPP to be able to get to that level. Because I doubt he will be able. I doubt he will be surviving another level.
And he's already pretty good at his job with what he already has.
Yeah.
Well, for survivability, he doesn't need like block or anything. Or I don't know how you do gutter runners.
Well,
yeah, I would be giving him block, but the thing is, I don't want to be putting him in any danger whatsoever anyway. So,
yeah,
and giving him block would, delay the further development of him being able to do like only one turners.
If everything goes well, he's not gonna even be on the pitch very much to be hit, but it's not going that way so far.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't have the money to be able to replace the missing pieces.
Yeah, so you'll be working with linemen, loners. Your other gutter runner, I assume that's your ball sacker. He gets the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really want him to to develop a little more, and then I'll be really happy giving him leap or something like that, or maybe 2 heads.
Right,
would be amazing.
Horns are great on them.
Yeah, those are really fun.
Let's take a look at a few Paneer's. Paneer has had 6 touchdowns scored so far, and 18 blocks sustained against him, so he's not doing too bad.
No, Paneer is also leading right now the touchdown with the 2 goals he scored.
He's still leading the division.
Yeah, he's currently leading the division.
Oh, so he's got a target on his back, that's for sure. I'm sure people are gonna be gunning for him.
Yeah, my last opponent was still fouling him like turn 15, turn 16, because
that's showing you some respect. I gotta admit,
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, I'd follow him every turn if I could.
I think you should respect it.
Yeah, just
like
on
when you have a very special player, you know that's gonna happen. That's part of the strategy.
Yeah,
it's nothing personal.
Yeah,
I got it. So.
Block dodge on your other gutter runner, and you got a plus strength on number 6. Is that Sevre? I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah.
I think it's Chebra, I'm not sure.
So strength 3.
He has an armor bust though, so is his career over?
No, not entirely, because the armor bust does not. I think Rebbl.net seems to be reflecting it incorrectly.
Yeah, I don't see an armor bust.
This happened in what's it called, the inter-division.
Open invitational, so the EA podium. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this hasn't been reflected yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Trying to crush his team already, Charles. What are you doing? All right.
He has so many injuries. I'm actually making some pump.
So, who do you have coming up next? Who's your next game against? Do you know?
It's a Lizardman coach.
Oh, oof. That's a lot of dice they're gonna be throwing against your guys.
Yeah.
Any plans for the team going forward? You're just gonna try to keep a couple of these gutter runners alive?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to just be able to further develop them. I want to get number 5, the just plus the block guy, like sure hands.
Yeah.
And then be able to just impose my game plan in any way if possible.
Yeah, you only need like 1 or 2 turns to score every time.
Yeah.
So it's just keeping everybody else alive for all 16 turns is the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Just keeping everyone alive is going to be the difficult part.
That will be interesting.
Just to say something interesting about the game that you played. Actually, he could have won the game except the rock fall above the head of Paneer and stand.
Oh,
yeah, that was terrible.
It was 2-2 if I remember correct, right?
Yeah, it was. We were drawn 2-2, and I was going. I mean, it was. I had the ball now, so I was on attack, and we had a pitch invasion. Pieces. I was set up for 1 turn, right?
Yeah.
And the pitch invasion stunned my 1-turner.
Oh.
Which allowed my opponent to get the ball and score on me.
Yeah, that when you set up for a 1 turn, if anything goes wrong and you're out of position, it can be brutal.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, maybe look at a stadium upgrade when you get enough money, but right now it's gonna be a ways before you get money. Wow. Yeah. Well, good luck. That's I don't play rats for this reason. I can't imagine how to recover from this, but I'm sure you can do it.
Yeah, I think I may be like leading my division in number of dead pieces.
Yeah.
Currently have 3, 6, 7, 8 pieces that have been fired, which is fun.
As long as I've checked, you have a pretty high number of injuries during your games.
Yeah, you've got
You
19.
are like 97 injured players in 8 or 9 matches.
Yeah, I think that may just be me having to actually improve.
Just get your
Play.
positioning a little better and make sure you're not touching people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
most
see
likely.
that you have some of the most positive offenses in the division, so maybe you have to set up too much for line of scrimmage and then you're taking more hits. Maybe it's that, just paying
No,
for
I-
your success.
Actually, I generally just set up for just the minimum amount of people now on the LOS, right? But actually, going on the defense, I tend to put pieces against, like staying people up so that I can, I try to have people actually roll dice.
Oh, well, there's a
Because I can
problem.
take advantage of it.
I learned that
Well-
early and often with L's. Don't touch anybody ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charles' team got a little bashed this last season too. He knows what that's like.
Yeah, but early game, I totally agree that you should do that.
Stay away
it's
from
just
people.
not working out for the rats.
Yeah.
No, actually marking them and forcing them to roll dice because they don't have bomb. So you're hoping that they don't kill your players, but
Charles, he's just had, how many kills so far? Let's see. 97 injured players, 19 casualties, and 23 KOs. I think you should stay away from people right at this point.
that's the plan. Stick with the plan.
All
Like,
right,
base more people.
No,
Let's make it
do
exciting.
not- No, do not do that. Charles is sabotaging you, I think. All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because you're from another country that competes with him in, I think, soccer or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So where are you from, Jericho Peppers? For the people in their homes.
I'm playing out of Buenos Aires.
Nice.
Yeah,
Look at that international league, man.
International podcast show, International League. Have you played with any of the people before, or is this your first time in Rebbl?
This is actually I joined Rebbl with the one that was previous to thing. What's it called? The Eurogamer.
Eurogamer.
Open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a Eurogamer import.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and I placed this team into it.
Awesome.
I was so close to getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But due to difference in touchdown, no, strength of strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. An elf team beat me, which is quite fun.
Well, it's okay.
Frustrating.
You're down here, you get some opportunities, and you get the best show that recaps you, so you're fine. In the Eurogamer, I think
Yeah,
our video
man.
was on the Eurogamer shows, or on that article, so that worked
Yeah.
out. All right, cool. Anything you want to say to the competition coming up?
Try not to kill any gut runners, please.
Oh boy, now they're
Okay.
they're only gonna kill gutter runners. You just did yourself in there. You should have said you were trying to protect that lineman. You're like, I gotta keep these linemen alive. Okay.
Yeah, landman can die.
You
I don't
know
care
that
about them.
Panir was one of the three players to watch, so he has a big target above his head.
Yeah. That's the
And
first
whose
player I
fault
was
is
trying
that?
to kill because of Juvasek's recommendation that this player should be taken out. So you can blame Juvasek and Charles, not me, when stuff goes wrong.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
That's not fair. I already cursed the mighty blow piling on Blitzer that did nothing last game.
Yeah, you cursed him. And if you do re-roll the team, please feel free to reach out to me if you need help with your logo selection and your color selection again. I'll be happy to help you with that. I think that's why the team's kind of taking a downfall right now.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just kidding. All right. We're going to go to our next break. We're going to take a quick commercial message, and we'll come right back. Again, thank you so much, Jericho Peppers, for joining us.
No, thanks for contacting me.
Yep, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our main event where we take a look at the upcoming match of the week and the undercard. We brought us back from commercial looking at Charles' tier list that he is determined to... I guess, Charles, you're saying that this is the way the teams will finish out the division based on your statistics. Of course, if you're in one of these tiers down here, feel free to fight your way up and prove Charles wrong, because we all like to see that.
Right. I wanted to show this because we talked about it last week and didn't have any kind of graphic to show it on the screen.
Yeah.
I also want to say that I have to pick matches some way, so I made this tier list to guide myself in the first couple of weeks, because we never watched this coaches play, so we're gonna look at past behavior to see what the future will hold.
Sure.
And if we're wrong about it, then that's nice. Good for you.
Good for
you know.
you. Yeah.
So
All right. Who do you have
what we-
for the main event this week?
we have the number one team in my tier list, as you saw, the Sterling Hornets facing the Bog Bombers.
Okay.
I would basically have the Sterling Hornets on the main event anyways, because I'm very curious to see what they do to be so successful so far.
Well, I understand that's a Pro Elf team against human team. In that kind of a matchup, boof. I don't think Sterling Hornets made it past the admin team, so I would probably have to pick the Bombers in this one.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course I'm going to pick the... Well, you've never seen the Pro Elf team play, though. I'm going to pick the Hornets as well. Who are you picking?
Okay. Yeah, I'm picking the Hornets. Nothing against the Bong Bombers. I just believe it's a good matchup for Elves, especially since the humans still don't have a killer. They have some Blitzer, but they don't have a proper killer.
Yeah.
And the Elves have more edgy. If they have players on the pitch, they should be able to win. So
right.
I'm going to stick with my tier list and pick the Hornets.
Awesome.
We have Jovsek's pick as well. He went with a draw.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Bold choice. All right. Week 2, let's take a look at our undercard here. We have Ska Papa Skavens, is that correct?
Yes, versus the Beer Brock
The Beer
Club.
And let me take a quick look at these two teams. Gutter Runners throw. Oof. Ska Pop Skavens got a lot injured. The
Right.
Beer Brawl Club is still loading, of course. Who do you have in this game?
Yeah, I think the Dwarves, they had some trouble not respecting the strength last week. The perfect defense did cause them a lot of harm, so I'm picking them to damage the opponent and grind this one out and maybe show a better side of their offense.
Yeah, I can't see the Beer Brawl Club right now. The page is not loading, but in this kind of matchup, I'm going to take Dwarves anyway. So I would definitely take the Dwarves in that matchup.
We have everybody picking the Dwarves then,
Uh-oh.
because Jovsek also picked them.
Alright, let's take a look at Drakdar Squad versus Sweet Teeth Forever. Pull up these two teams real quick here. Drakdar Squad. Looks like everybody's fairly healthy. A few injuries, but nothing that's keeping them out of the game. And Sweet Teeth Forever coming in completely healthy. Boy, who do you like in this one, Charles?
I didn't watch Sweet Tea Forever play,
Okay.
but I felt like they had a good upset win versus our contender of the week.
Mhm.
So I also felt like Drakdar Squad have a bit of a wonky play style, that a bit silly, as I said before.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with the team that I believe is more solid, which is the Necro.
Yeah, I'm going with Sweet Teeth Forever in that one as well.
So Jovsek disagrees with us. He watched both games and he thinks the Orcs are gonna get this one.
Oh, nice. I'm going Sweet Teeth Forever just because they have the second best uniforms in the division. Let's take a look at Varian Silurian versus Rebbl Cheese Thieves. Let's take a quick look at these teams and see there's nobody out for the Silurian, and the Cheese Thieves have half a team. So, but they've got
Right.
that one turner. Ooh,
They're
this-
very banged up.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. I think in this one you've got to go with Varian Silurian just be based on strength. If they can start getting removals, even if the one-turner's out there, there's just not going to be enough support pieces for him.
So, Juvsek actually has a draw for this one.
Okay.
I disagree for both of you. I'm picking the Cheese Thieves one more time. I know they are banged up. I know they are missing.
They only have 11 players on the pitch with no money. Yeah.
And no Storm Vermi, which are very important to level up.
Block. It's going to be a rough one.
Yeah. Their last
guns.
defeat did raise some eyebrows. They do look banged up, but I believe in him.
You believe in him? All right.
Yeah, I'm picking them.
Yep,
Let's see
stick
who
with
is
it.
right this time.
The Grumble Brock Gorgers versus the Commanders in Grief. The Gorgers come in a little gorged on team value, but a lot of killers on that team. Let's see.
That's normal for
everybody
ogres,
is
right?
healthy on that team. Commanders in Grief, everybody healthy here. Only one player with tackle though, which against those little snotlings could be interesting. Who do you like in this matchup? Now, I'm of course going with the Commanders in Grief just based on uniform.
Okay, so we're both going with them. The two teams got draws last time around.
Yeah.
I put them on the same tier, so it's a very close matchup. They are together on the scoreboard, and they're also together on the tier list. I love the Orcs' offensive drive, though. I thought the Wizard was kind of questionable, but they did play nice offense, so I'm picking with them because it's more reliable than Ogres.
Okay.
And Juvsek got a draw for this one.
Okay. And we have Dazed and Confused versus Bring Out Your Dead. Let's take a look at both teams here. Dazed and Confused has Nurgle Warrior out for this game. Nurgle Warrior with block. I think that's his only block piece. Oh no, he's got a Pesticle with block. Versus Bring Out Your Undead, which is a team that's just not loading in the client. There it goes. Okay, now I can see it. Looks completely healthy. I don't see anybody missing on this team. No block on the Tomb Guardians yet, just all guard. 2 Blitzers with block. So, this is gonna be an interesting one. I think I'm going to take the Tomb Guardian team. Bring Out Your Undead. I like that they have more strength. And Nurgle getting out strength is always bad for them.
Right, and that's kind of the thought. Everyone of us agrees. I think the Camry was part of the very tough main event from last week. They did show good defense. Their offense was actually good as well, given the circumstances. So I'm picking them to just stifle the Nurgle offense and get a TD this time, not a draw.
Absolutely. All right, I think that wraps up all of our picks. Well, let's see. We have the admin team against the Mass Bolts. Again, I'm going to not... Well, maybe I won't pick the admin team this time. Maybe the Mass Bolts get it done. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with our closing thoughts. And welcome back to the last segment of Friday Night Fights. This is kind of where we get together, kibitz, talk about how everything's going for the division, news around Rebbl, and just what's going on. Charles, anything new in the divisions with this new pyramid format? How are you liking it?
I think it's a great idea because it's more predictable where you're going to end up. Yeah. And also, teams are not punished for having high TV. It's just about winning and losing. So the nature of a team will not just... If your team is fat, you're not going to get put into a lot of Nurgle and very old teams. You're going to just be based on where you really should be. I like it.
That could be. I know I got punished for having high TV this season because I got bumped up a little too high.
Right, that's never good.
Yeah,
right?
I don't like that, but oh well. How'd your game go last week?
I got a disappointing draw, which seems to be the motto of the team for the last season and some change.
Yeah, but you're way up there, so...
It's difficult. Everyone plays well. There's not a lot of misplays, and I hate...
Well, at least you have an easy game coming up.
Oh yeah, I'm playing versus Rabi,
Oh,
the
you got a Robbie.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is, for those of you new to the division, Arabi has like the highest kill streak, like five casualties per game or something.
Yeah, I look at stats from divisions because of the recapping,
Yeah.
of course. And when I looked at Rabi's numbers,
That's
I
what stood
didn't
out.
know it was possible. It stood out from every kill team I ever saw.
Because he
He
doesn't
kills
play
more.
to win, he just plays to pile on with every piece, and every piece
Right.
has a pile on. Oh, it's brutal watching him just
So
kill
then-
people.
If you're dead, did you really win? Right?
Yeah, yeah. If you can get a win out of it, but you walk away with half a team, it's brutal.
Yeah.
So I
And
look
how
forward to
about-
watching that.
How's your strength team doing?
Oh, my team did terrible, Charles. I don't know what
Really?
happened. I had 70 blocks and 1 KO the whole game. It was
Oh.
it was the most unbelievable thing I'd ever seen. I was just like,
How-
nothing. I was playing against
How are you-
Bretonians. It was just so weird.
Do you have mighty blows and pylons?
I
and
don't
stuff?
have any mighty blow or pylon yet. It's all just guard.
Okay,
and
so
strength.
that explains it.
Well,
That- you
but
gotta
70 blocks? That doesn't explain 70 blocks, 1 KO. I mean, the only...
No.
I got a death, but from a dirty player stomping somebody to death. So...
Yeah, it's the only guy with a +1 in your team, and he got the kill. So those +1 are actually very impactful.
Could
so
be. Yeah, I got
you
my...
should ride this wave out, and when you get those red skills, you're gonna start killing everyone.
I hope I kill everyone. But, oh well. I could, like I said, I could lose the entire season. I just have one game that I care about this season. So...
Versus Dwigs.
Yep. Week 11.
Okay.
It's on. It is on. So,
Get some mighty blow before that. Some more
Yeah.
dirty players.
I know. It was so weird. All I needed was like one player to level up, and nobody would get any Kaz's. And so it was ugly. I don't see any other news around Rebbl. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please take everything we say with a grain of salt. Try to be funny. Except for Charles. He's serious when he tells you that your team is bad. I'm just kidding, Charles. Get everybody hating you so they can fight their way up to your division and just kill you.
Right.
All right. Well, that's the end of the show. We'll check in on you next week. And again, if you have any games coming up you want us to know about, maybe we can watch, maybe stream. And let's see, I am at 49 viewers. If I get or followers on our Twitch channel, if I get to 50, I'm gonna give out a prize randomly
Cool.
to one of our followers. So, like us, subscribe, follow, do whatever you got to do. And Charles, any parting words?
Oh, actually, yeah. We just got JuvSec into the show. We are working out new segments and new graphics. If you know how to do graphics, if you have any feedback on segments, if you have ideas, hit us up on Discord, because now is the best time to give your input.
Yep. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See ya.